then the other thing I would say
It's
is,
fake.
like, politically speaking, at least, sorry to be Uncle fucking socialism, but if we get rid
His
of...
name is Uncle Stalin,
At least he
by the way.
apologizes.
If we get rid of all the horrible things that we are willingly participating in and also just make things better in the way that we absolutely know is possible, then everybody wouldn't feel like screaming all the time.
Well,
Because you just feel like a crazy person because you're like, we all know better than this.
Well, can I bring up a thing that I'm really jealous of our forebears of, which is that, and maybe this is the oversimplification that happens when you look backwards, because maybe it wasn't simple back then, but like, all these historical chapters that we look at counterculturally, it's always the people that are unashamed versus the people that are ashamed. And we don't have that culture war going on right now. We have two different kinds of people that are both like willing to engage in shame and fear, arguing with each other about which type of shame should pay which type of dividend and which amount. And it's like, how are you going to win that fight? Like, there's got to be some way to fucking move this line so that it's like in that classic tradition of like, look, man, it's like you can fucking make fun of everybody you want. You can like harass anyone you want. But if you're harassing them, they're on my side. I don't fucking care. Like, I am not signing up for this Boy Scout troop where everyone dresses the same and doesn't have any fun, and let the enemy say, no, we have fun, and let them prove it, because they can't.
Hey, man.
Because they're
That
not
is
fun.
happening.
But they can prove that
Perry-
they have fun when they're trolling us and watching us
Hey,
dance
man,
like monkeys. When we're going like, what? Someone told me that there's something outrageous over here. And they're laughing all the way to the fucking troll bank. Like, it's like, we got to take that
hate
power.
that bank. Vote no on the troll bank.
That pays nothing. We gotta figure out how to put that in the hands of the city.
It's such the troll bank just traffics in like Pepe Bitcoin.
We gotta get.
You got to answer 3 riddles before you can get a deposit.
So the bank's gonna be under a bridge. I know. On the nose.
I think like the thing that they're now delighting in is like just overt racisms, because they have kind of been retreated to a point where it's like, well, I guess we got to take pride in this because Taylor Swift is mad at us and Kanye stopped
really
being into
thought-
politics now.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a treasure trove to the extent that we progress to the point where 10 years ago everyone was racist. Then that means that everyone can now go back 10 years and find something racist you said, which we should all be mindful of and go, yeah, shit changes. I said shit that is bad 10 years ago, but we are in this mode, I think, of like, well, my only point, I'm not even trying to say, you know what we need to do? It only came up because talking about tantrums, I think the reason why tantrums are so exciting to me right now is because actually we're constantly throwing them online at each other, even people that are on our side. We are just frothing at the mouth. And if you told a Martian what level of technology we were at and then said, they would say,
we've achieved tantrum technology.
Well, if you told them we've achieved the technology where anyone from any device, no matter what their income level, basically, like for the price of a fucking book of matches, you could basically have an opportunity to type anything anywhere and it would be seen by everyone, depending on whether or not anyone thought it was worth reading. That all sounds to me like the Martian would go, oh, so you probably have a lot less frothing at the mouth and fucking crazy tirades, right? And it's like, and then you go, no, the opposite. And the Martian would go, well, then something must be wrong that you're not telling me.
The technology's so new. We've never before been so plugged into what's happening exactly everywhere. And like our brains aren't used to like being like, hey, here's this horrible thing happening in a country I'm just telling you about. For the first time ever, you're going to learn about a brand new country because of a horrible thing that's happening.
All that information is new,
but
but something that's not new is something that a lot of our parents like kept telling us and kindergarten teachers, which is like, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. If you know, like golden rule shit that we think goes out the window because we're looking at something that excites us, that traumatizes us. We believe that there's a deal breaker that's present in, but it's on my phone. And it's like, no, motherfucker, that's exactly the point where you're being tested.
Right. Well, it's because you're not looking at a human being and getting the facial recognitions of like, oh, you're a person.
Yeah, you're not going to get your ass kicked, for instance.
Right.
You're not going to get get punched in the face. You're not going to have to not make eye contact with someone that's more powerful than you. All this shit that we should
The
be
three worst things.
we should be ashamed of as far as incentivizations to express ourselves or not. And that's another reason why we're being tested and trained by this technology. It's like, oh, I just watched a guy get shot to death on a street, and I watched the cop's gun tremble in his hand. And then I have a bad day at work, and then my therapist goes like, yeah, but don't you think your body knew you saw that? And we're like, yeah, but I didn't talk about it. I didn't retweet it. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but you fucking took it in. You're being traumatized. Now, it's not like we need to turn our backs on that, but it's like we are currently acting like it's normal to watch people get shot and killed. Like it's normal to wake up every day to the news that everyone's a piece of shit and that we're all gonna die, which may or may not be true. I'm not saying that's a lie, but it's fucking weird messaging to get when you wake up. And I'm telling you, we didn't get it when I was a kid every day.
Fred Durst didn't come on the fucking
I got the
TV?
message when I was your age that Snoopy hated Mondays. Depending on.
Well, you got that message wrong. It's Garfield.
There was.
You got it that we had just kicked the Kaiser's ass. And
I'm sure Snoopy hated Mondays too. Die by fire.
Whoa, speaking of fire.
Downvote.
Speaking of fire, you're really haunting the F house, dude.
Oh man, haunting the F house.
No?
You're
No?
H in the
Too many
fizzle.
times. Too many times.
Anyways,
times.
whatever. It's tantrum technology. That's what we need. We need
Yeah.
primal scream assisting technology. I think, like, truly, because I'm telling you, I'm still walking around. I can now measure it by therapy because my therapist will ask me what's happening in here. I have a column of rage inside of me that I can measure and observe, and I don't have to act on it because I'm 45. I can just let it sit and burn. But I know when it's zero. I know when I'm like a fucking kite in the wind. When I'm like, whoa, Pearl Jam and lyrics. I feel
Pearl
it.
Jam?
I feel it every once in a while.
you become drunk Eddie Vedder?
But it keeps
Kite Eddie Vedder.
it keeps filling up. It fills up, and then you can feel it. You don't. It's. And you can punch a wall and have it really not go down.
Right.
There is.
Did you really punch a wall and really bloody your knuckles?
I have punched more walls this year than I punched the year I got divorced. And it's been in the last couple of months, and it's been because of outrage about shit that I can't talk about. And it's largely been about that meta fact that I can't fucking talk about it. So I punch a fucking wall because what else am I going to do? The alternative would be to pollute my relationship with Cody, to pollute my my workplace. Where do you go when you are filled with just a foundational fucking incompatibility with a planet full of idiots?
TJ Maxx.
That's their slogan.
Right?
I think it's self-destructive of them.
Yeah.
I think
not great.
I think it flew in the face of their base. But
Yeah, well, they decided
where
on
do
it.
you go when you have a foundational incompatibility with a planet of idiots? TJ Maxx.
Yeah. It's catchy. You gotta give them that.
All this summer, men's pants are 2x2.
We got shelves.
I don't
of
know how
stuff.
clothes work.
Yeah.
Do they sell them like animals on the
Yeah,
ark?
marching on the ark, 2x2. Hurrah, hurrah. I think that it, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people right now who just have a voice for the first time with the internet. There are folks in marginalized groups that are speaking up for the first time. There are people who are like us, who are white men who aren't really used to being challenged a lot. That's happening now, and it's up to us to just sort of be like, well, you know, we kind of just got to suck it up and deal because, boy, oh boy, has it been easy to be a white man.
It's certainly a credit card debt to pay. I'm really glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because not only did 3 years ago on this podcast that I knew, you know, I wanted to make sure I acknowledged that as far as voting concerns, like I was on this very podcast, I have changed from a guy who was like, your vote doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. And I was in my 40s saying that.
I used to say it too.
So that, but if you asked me at that time, I'd like to say, if you asked me what my deal breaker was, I would say, I don't know, a fascist coup. But, however, like, I'm glad you brought that. That's the more important thing to bring up, because I was 25 once. I'm going to give it 20 years ago. And when I was 25, I mean, if I was living in this world now, would I leave an Instagram comment on a man's Instagram whose cartoon I liked, telling him to get back to work because his cartoon's like, no, never, no, those people are horrible.
Yeah,
but,
they are.
However, but
but now they have a voice.
But
nerds have never been oppressed.
But a lot of the people who are saying things like we've been equalized. Like you can't.
It's the very beginning of the start of a whisper.
You can't tell a precocious 15-year-old from a emotionally retarded 19-year-old from a 25-year-old who's been abused as a child from a 36-year-old. That's like all of that shit is out the window,
right.
Which is probably ultimately, if we survive this rapture, a better thing than a worse thing.
Right.
Because throwing out biological strata is probably could benefit us if we survive this.
Yeah, we're all going to need to work together to survive the horrible things that are in store for us in the future.
But I guess that means that if you're a 45-year-old and you're like, I hate the world, like the test upon you, if I expect today's 25-year-old to comport themselves with some dignity when they're leaving comments on my girlfriend's Instagram, there should also be that I have to look at myself as Gandalf and go, well, you have responsibilities to
kind of.
If Peregrine Took knocks a barrel down a well, like what if Gandalf had just been like, you piece of shit, I'm gonna skin you alive. And then the ogres came and he's like, just take him. I don't care. I fucking hate Middle Earth. Did you know wizards aren't even men? They're like a different species in this world. I'm a fucking elite. I'm out of here. Teleport. Level 9. I'm Gandalf the Purple in a world without dipshits. I come here for fun.
I love the image of Gandalf being like, boring.
He kind of does, but
big deal.
He does do that, but I'm realizing now, okay, maybe don't be irritated by him because he's the acid test is he goes, you shall not pass to a fucking Balrog. He's out there and he says, fly you fools. To be fair to him, he gets to apparently live through that, which no one else does. Like, oh, hey, Gandalf, where were you? Well, I lost that fight to the demon and fell through a thing. And then I'm back.
I think he won.
Yeah, that's a good metaphor for the structural benefit that being a white man has in this society.
Actually, yeah, you don't have to fight the Balrog that hard.
Yeah. Right.
I've prestiged.
Yeah, you just become Gandalf the White.
Yeah. Gandalf the toxic male white.
Gandalf the white fragile.
Gandalf the problematic.
Gandalf the fragile white gun owner.
You can take my staff from my cold dead hands.
I didn't buy it because I'm conservative. I bought it because they're ruining the world. I don't know why I'm using this voice when that's literally my justification for having bought a gun.